Well, joining us now is Professor Jideofor Adibe of the Political Science and International Relations Department of Nasarawa State University. Good to see you and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's always good to see that smile on people's faces, especially when Nigerians are waiting for a dissection and fair understanding of what exactly is happening. First, let's start by asking your take when you first heard the audio leak.
Which of the audio leaks?
Well, assuming that you've heard it, really.
Yeah,
the conversation between Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and the pastor of...
Prof understands.
I wasn't going to break it down. Because the top, when you said Peter Obi versus the federal government, so that was a different angle. Yeah. First of all, is that the Labour Party has, as far as I've read, that it was doctored, and that there was a part of it that was left out. And my own concern in this is in terms of privacy laws. Who leaked it? How safe are ordinary people? Because if it is the government tapping the phones of individuals, should they tap the telephone of a bishop, of a clergyman? And is it something that is widespread in the society? Because if that happens, then we are getting to the era of Big Brother, where the Big Brother is watching you. So beyond the politics of it is the concern about the invasion of people's privacy. Right. So that is one aspect of it. The other one is that, I don't know the politics of between it should actually be between the APC and other parties. What of the things that people are asking is, why is it that APC seems focused on a person that apparently came third and not the person that is second, but at least by INEC?
Well, maybe because it would seem as if we jump in the gun here. Sorry, Ngozi. It would seem as if we jump in the gun because specifically, we have conversations on a daily basis, and even if anyone was listening to our conversation, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is when it touches on national, interest. And if you look at that line that speaks of religious war, Professor Adibe, perhaps that would make any nation bring
cringe.
Up. Yes.
No, remember that, I'm not going to defend anybody, because even when there was Muslim ticket, we had a similar thing where some groups said voting for Muslim ticket was a jihad. Or you didn't hear that one? It was clearly stated as part of the, campaign that we should support Muslim because that's a jihad. That audio circulated, that information circulated, and it was not denied. But I'm not saying that if that was done, that was right, but I'm only trying to say that there's a lot of hypocrisy, and that the impression is therefore created that there was like an attempt to demarket a group, and my own general concern is that at a time where we should be de-escalating this conflict so that creating room for post-election reconciliation and healing, people are really upping the ante and escalating the conflict, and that's not going to be even good for Tinubu.
It's important you point that out because, you wonder how weighty is that statement coming from Lai Mohammed that Peter Obi and, of course, Datti's statements amount to treasonable felony. Is it the Nigerian government that is saying straightforwardly that the statement from Peter Obi, carries a lot of weight as far as treason is concerned? Or is it just a Lai Mohammed statement?
What was difficult for me to understand, because they are also linking it to the idea of call for
an incitement.
No, it's not. They talked about interim government. So my own opinion, my own perspective is it's not. Is it a criminal offense to have an opinion? Assuming without conceding, even if you are plotting, I'm not plotting, forget the word, that people are meeting just like you canvass for ideas. In fact, one of the justices in the US, very famous Wendell Holmes, one of the judgments, he said, any opinion can be construed as an incitement. That the difference between the opinion you hold and the incitement in a narrower sense is the urgency with which you want the result. In other words, if you just say, look, I prefer military rule, that's an opinion. But I am not, if I am trying to go and talk to the military to come and take over, that becomes an incitement. So people,
and again, it comes to the question of, sorry to cut you there, it comes to the question of the argument between freedom and determinism. What is free, and at what point will your freedom end and it becomes destructive to the people?
Cross the red line.
So at the end of the day, I'm excited that you've said this is the time for us to, bridge, bridge the gap, and de-escalate. So this is already out there, and we've also heard Lai Mohammed speak, and Peter Obi has also spoken. What should we as a people, a country, be doing in the face of what had transpired?
I see. It would have been fairer for the government if all that happened in Lagos, people were arrested, MCO Lomo, for example, or FFK, those people that use very incendiary remarks, nobody talked to them. I'm not saying that incitement in any form is correct, but I have not seen incitement. If, for example, I actually published an article today on interim government, that you have an opinion. It's not a crime. You cannot criminalize it. What's the whole idea of competition of ideas in the political marketplace? After all, you can see that even the idea of interim government, Afe Babalola SAN, before the election, canvassed for it. So what makes it a crime is what I don't understand.
Okay, so quoting Lai Mohammed, while speaking abroad there, he said a Democrat should not believe in democracy only when he wins the election. So the question is the process democratic? At least in the eyes of Peter Obi and his supporters, it is not, that process was not democratic.
I just don't really know the one he was linking to Peter Obi, the statement, because he did not clarify. Was it the audio, or was it that they are linking him to interim government? I'm not defending him, but also, why do you need to go to New York when there were international observers around here and you could issue statements? The impression you got is this ought to have been an issue between political parties, and the government ought to have stayed away from it and become more like an arbiter in the process. For example, if you feel that some spokespeople were crossing the line, you kind of urge the candidates to call them to order, not to be seen as taking sides. And I'm not really sure that this is the incoming government, whoever the person is, will meet a lot of challenges. Did you
say whoever the person is will have a president-elect?
Well, there are also people contesting for it.
So until that,
until he is the president-elect.
Good. So
he's the president-elect.
We should say the president-elect. So not whoever the person is.
Whoever, if it's still not impossible that. For as long as people are...
Presently, Nigeria has a president-elect.
We have a president-elect.
There's a president-elect.
Yes.
We agree to that. But people are contesting that outcome with the hope that they may win. You don't have to foreclose and tell them that you have no chance. So that's why...
And that's one of the issues. Because on one hand, you're accusing that I've stolen your goat. And you've taken me to court. And on the other hand, you're in the market square screaming and pointing fingers at me that I'm a thief. So why don't you wait for the process that you so believed in? And that's one of the arguments. I'm excited you're an academic. Now, this is the right way to go, and they're already in the court. Should they still be talking about the issue in the manner of also saying that you must not?
I'm not sure, but well, I know that Dr. Datti Ahmed was quoted as saying that if he was inaugurated, that would be like a crime, the end of democracy. That would be the end of the... I don't understand the sense in which that was made. The truth is that interim government is not recognized in our constitution. And unless, by magic, the electoral, the judgment comes before the inauguration and is not what people... is not the other... Tinubu is not affirmed. He is going to be inaugurated, and there's nothing like an interim government.
Do you expect Tinubu, the president-elect right now, to begin to rein in his aides and people who may just be,
that's what I expected him to have done, especially in Lagos. And he did it. It came out too little. The other time I was listening to Professor Wole Soyinka, one of our best, by the way, yesterday, and he said something that all the spokespeople should go on holiday. Because what you see is that some of them are really like seeking for relevance and attention and have nothing else to do. And they keep on hitting the polity. And then other people have to, respond. Although I would like to say that there are some spokespeople that I really respected the way they carried out their work with dignity and still effective. People like Daniel Buala, let me mention his name, and Yunusa Tanko. It's not all of them, but some really are very, the word to use is very malicious.
And I think you have a point in the face of you saying that we ensure that we bring about peace, reconciliation, and some kind of closure.
Well,
these people should actually sheathe their swords. So in closing quickly, I understand we're running out of time. What truly can the present government, in this case President Buhari, do to actually rein everyone in?
I think what the step taken by Lai Mohammed is not going to help.
All right, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
Professor Jideofor Adibe, political analyst. Thank you.